you don't have to make buckets, but for Tibbs, defense, that I was curious if he's gonna bench him because it was really bad for me. And I saw and I remember and I
This is NBK, nothing but Knicks. When Sim passed the assist, you know that it's number one show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock, who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Post-game reviews, this the place you tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench. This is NBK, nothing but Knicks.
Knicks family, what's poppin'? Is your boy. Good afternoon to you, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the shoot around presented by SeatGeek. And if you use the link in the description of this video and use the code NBK, you'll get $20 off of your first purchase on SeatGeek, ladies and gentlemen. So make sure you buy your tickets on SeatGeek. If you're not buying them from NBK, in a group package, then get them from SeatGeek. Anyway, Andy, what's going on with you, man? How you feeling? How you feeling about last night's game?
What up, Sim? What up to the chat? Happy to be on. Listen, I watched the game live, so I had a nice long sleep this morning. I'm happy my wife took care of the kids, so they didn't wake me up, but because the game ended at 3 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
But Sim, I'm happy about the end result, and I'm happy, about several players. I got some bones to pick with a couple of players, so we'll get, deeper into that.
Okay. Yeah, we'll get deeper into it. Ladies and gentlemen, I know you watched the game last night, but if you're not aware, the New York Knicks defeated the New Orleans Pelicans. They're now 5-1. They're sitting on top of the Eastern Conference. RJ Barrett had a career game, 35 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists. And we finally seen some things from RJ Barrett that can make anyone say, this guy may be the one to take over games at the end of games sometime in the future. We're not saying this season, but sometime in the future from what we seen last night, maybe he's that guy. It's something that we're going to talk about because I want to know from Andy and whoever else is going to join us on the panel, is RJ Barrett ready to have a breakout season? What's this, his third season? A lot of people say the third season is time when you break out. Will he have a breakout year? It's hard to say, but we're going to talk about it and we'll figure it out. I guess the only way we're really going to figure it out is by watching him play. But we'll give our analysis and whether or not this will be a breakout season for RJ Barrett. We'll get into that just a little bit later. Okay. But last night, Andy, like you said, you're happy with the end result. But the Knicks, they would build a 13-point lead. They let the Pelicans back in. They build a 13-point lead. They let the Pelicans back in. And then once again, it came down to, I don't want to say fourth quarter heroics, but we didn't put the team away. We didn't put the Pelicans away, and the game was closer than you would expect it to be. I think the final score was 123-117, a 6-point game when the Knicks really should have and could have put this thing away in the second quarter and been up by 25 the entire game. Are you concerned about that at all, Andy?
Yes, I am concerned because, like we said on the pre-game show, this should be an easy game for us. Not to mention they didn't have 2 of their best players on. I don't think they're even aiming to get to the playoffs, because the West, Western Conference is really good. So if they are, trying to get there, it's going to be really hard for them. So, for a mid-tier West Coast team, the Knicks sitting at the first seed on the East at this position. I know it was 5 games, but we should easily get that W. And we talked about it, on the pregame show about the matchups and everything. So listen, I wasn't concerned at the beginning of the game when we got that 13 or 16 point even lead. I was thinking like, okay, this is the time we're going to go up to 25, and Thibs might get the chance to plug in the rookies, right?
Right.
And as you said, we lost the lead again, and it happened again. And listen, I think there's several issues about this team about maybe not this team, about the situations that we let the other teams come back. I also think that this is really fixable with this roster. It's not like we need to change this or that player, to get those, breakout leads and then never look back. I think, the team, and it's not only about cohesion and stuff like that. I think they need to grow together as a team, and, like maybe, realize that they really have a chance just to jump out and never look back. I think there's still like maybe don't recognize their strength and their power. I think like, listen, we got 16 points, maybe, and then a little bit take a break, and not only on the offense. I think the defense is also maybe a problem. Last year, we were top 5 on defense. This year, a team like the Pelicans, without 2 best scorers, I don't think they should reach the 105 point mark. They had 117, and it wasn't a overtime game. So the defense was one concern, but I think also, because I'm not going to complain about the offense too much. Only thing that I was thinking I might complain about the offense is if Julius Randle would take it upon himself to score most of the points, and he didn't have a good game offensively, and that could put us in trouble. That wasn't the case last night, and I'm happy that Julius, realized that RJ had a hot hand, and that he's starting to trust the rest of the team. So I really kudos to him about that.
But I know you got some other concerns about Randall.
Yeah, the other concerns is, I think he might be, his head might not be in the game 100%. I saw it last 2 games, but definitely the Pelicans game. Listen, his guy, I don't know, Herb Jones, right? Listen, we didn't know the guy before we saw him on the court.
Right.
One, he's a rookie. So, it's not the tier that of a player that Julius is, most improved player from last season, star of this team. I don't think, anybody, even doubted that he's going to be the number 1 guy on the Knicks. So, a guy, ending even more points than Julius is a little bit of, maybe not slap in his face, but at least a smudge, right? So I think Julius is going to have, in the near future, is going to have at least a 30, 35 point game when he gets hot. Yeah. And I think, I'm glad that he's not forcing it, but if he's going to feel, the hot hand, oh, bro, he's going to milk it. He's going to milk it, and he's going to run with it. So
you know when it's going to be? I'm going to tell you when it's going to be, Andy. I'm going to tell you when it's going to be. When that baby decides to sleep all night.
And Sim, that was my listen, because I don't want the the NBK fam to think that I'm a Julius hater or stuff like that. I was gonna blame it, maybe the newborn doesn't want to have that regular pooping, whatever, listen, he's worried about it. I was like, I'm just gonna blame it on something stupid like that. Yeah. But listen, last game I realized also in timeouts, Thibs was drawing up something, and Mitch and RJ were looking at the board. Meanwhile, Julius was like looking at the crowd, and I was like, listen. And he was like having that one spot seat left over, No, those are things that last year we were concerned because Alfred Payton didn't see with the team, right? But I really think we saw that his head just wasn't in the game. Herbert Jones was scoring on him. We saw Fournier helping out from his guy, to Jones and just closing it out, like marking that he's going to try to. And, Julius was supposed to step it up and he didn't. And it was like several times last game that I noticed it. And, he had the ball poked out of his, hands from behind. I realize that teammates should yell and scream about it, right? That he has guys behind him. But those are signs that you're not in the game.
Yeah.
And
let's see what happens. Let's see what happens with him. You never know what's going on, with guys. Obviously we know we had a child, but besides that, you never know what else is going on. Let's just see what happens, see if it persists, if you continue to see the same things, and if his play picks up.
Exactly.
But our other guy, RJ Barrett, had a monster game last night. At least for RJ Barrett, it's a monster game. 35 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, high percentages from the field, high percentages from the three-point line. I want to ask you, and I want to find out what the chat thinks about it. And ladies and gentlemen, you can call in 516-405-2246. I'll take a couple of calls before I want to break down a couple of things about RJ Barrett and what I seen from him last night. Is it the breakout season for RJ Barrett? What do you think, Andy?
I really hope so. And listen, he showed us his potential last season when he had he's really a good overall player, not only on defense, on offense as well. He can shoot, he can drive, he can, rebound and put back. He can do basically everything. Maybe not something like one's go-to move is as a particular, offensive weapon for him. But I'm actually happy about it because, when he decides that, listen, this is going to be my go-to move, I believe he's going to work on it so hard that it will really be his, go-to move. Right. And he's going to be able to use it versus any defender in this league.
Right.
So.
Right. Last night, watching him play, I seen him do a lot of things that I just haven't seen him do in the past, and it's very evident that he's working on, he's really working on his game. A couple of things that I'm going to point out, and I want to show it to you in video. Two things that really impressed me last night. One was his ability to shoot off the bounce. Seen it a couple of times throughout the season, but a few times last night, he was going off the bounce. A couple of dribbles between the leg, pull up. And then his ability to use angles. Right? Those two things impressed me last night. So this is what I'm going to do, guys. I'm going to get to a phone call, maybe take 1 or 2 phone calls and get your thoughts about RJ Barrett and if it's time for him to break out, if this is the season. And then we're going to break down a little bit of film in an edition of the Coach's Corner. All right, so let me get to this phone call here. Caller, you're live. Tell me your name, where you're from. Caller, you there? I guess we won't be getting to any calls because the caller, I guess, couldn't hear me. I don't know. Maybe they were shocked that they got through. All right, but let's do this. Since we couldn't get the caller, let's go ahead and take a look at what I'm talking about from RJ Barrett. And this is the first thing right here, shooting off the bounce. All right, this is something that I just find impressive from RJ because I haven't seen him do it in the past. All right, so I will go ahead and hit play, and then we'll rewind it and take a look at it again. All right, because you're going to see right here, boom, RJ off the bounce, between the legs twice, bang, knock it down. Again, boom, and then a nice little pull up and knock it down. These are two beautiful moves by RJ, as far as I'm concerned. You know what I mean? And we haven't seen him go off the bounce like this much throughout his young career Andy. What do you think? I mean, just give me your quick analysis about him going off the bounce. And if that
Yes.
right there is what I think it is this skill going to take him to the next level this season and help him to break out this season?
Yes, and listen, just the one game before the Pelicans game, he, and me and Steph were talking about it after the game. He scored all of his points after drives to the hoop, except one 3-point shot from the corner that Kemba passed him the ball. All of those points that he scored, except the free throws, of course, were after the dribble and on drives to the hoop. Now, listen, and that might have been the scouting report. That's why they maybe closed the couple of lines for him, and he had to do the pull-up. Then again, as a Knicks fan, you got to be happy because he can catch and shoot. He can drive to the hoop, and now he can drive, stop, and pop.
Right.
So listen, it's basically everything you would want him to do. We know that he can post, maybe not oftenly and not perfectly, but he can, back his man down and take that step back jumper. So listen, he's showing you the full offensive, skill set of a young player like he is, right? So I'm really happy about this because this is one more thing that the defenders have to have on the scouting report. And if you think that, listen, he basically drives, right? You're going to cut out the lanes. But when you leave him, you do a step back and you look and react.
Right.
If he's going to be able to make that shot consistently and pull up, you can't take that step back. And if you don't take that step back, he's going to go around you.
Right.
So this is going to be, a huge thing for him if he can knock those shots consistently.
Right. And, I seen him, I don't remember what game it was. I don't remember what game it was, but he went off the dribble, got to the elbow, and then a little bit of a pump fake. And after the pump fake, he watched, let me see what the defender is doing. And then he went ahead and finished pulling up his jump shot. These little skill sets that he's developing in his game is really going to make him a dynamic scorer. And what I like about what he's doing, he's not trying to use speed because he's not super duper fast. He's not trying to use his ability to jump over everyone because he doesn't jump particularly high, not for today's NBA. He's using actual skill, craftsmanship to score the basketball, right? I want to take a look at, two plays right here where he's able to use angles to penetrate to the basket. And I think Miles McBride talked about this with Kemba Walker. And maybe RJ's taking a little bit of Kemba Walker, taking some from Kemba Walker and implementing it into his game. But you see here, right? Just a quick ability, to use an angle, use a little bit of shiftiness to get past his defender. And then here, I want to bring this one back because this is the one that I really like. Bring it back just a little bit. And you'll see him weave in and out of people on this play here, right? You see him here with the ball. Bring my little laser pointer up here right quick. All right, you see him here with the ball, come off of this Mitchell Robinson screen. And then right as he comes off the screen, you can see inside here, there's this little area here that he's going to get to, right? And as he gets to this area, he's going to survey what this defender is doing and what that defender is doing before he makes his move, right? So he's using craftiness, and he's thinking about, okay, how am I going to get this done as he's going, all right? And, for me, we get all of this off the screen. This is really smart for him. And it's the best way that I believe he's going to be able to score consistently. Right? So let me go ahead and get it going. You see him get to that area. And now he's surveying the floor, seeing where his defenders are, decides to make a nice crafty move to the basket. Right there, ability to use angles to penetrate and get all the way to the basket. To me, that's exceptional play from RJ Barrett. And I think it's a play that's going to, or the type of skill set that's going to help him to just become a better scorer all around without having to use speed, without having to use this crazy athleticism. Any thoughts on that right there, Andy?
Listen, Sim, it's all like you said, and we got to remember that players that have all of those, offensive weapons get to the Hall of Fame, bro. When I see these kind of plays, you think about, Paul Pierce.
Mm-hmm.
No, he had all of those things. He wasn't that fast, but he was savvy. The rules were a little bit different because he was looking for those foul calls, right? RJ isn't doing that, but he's not afraid to attack the hoop. So this is a young Paul Pierce kind of offensive game at this point. And we know how he finished. He's in the Hall of Fame. So I would be happy with that kind of a career for RJ.
Yeah, without a doubt. No doubt about it. Obviously, our player of the game, your player of the game was RJ Barrett, right?
I don't think anyone else has another.
Right. Player of the game last night was RJ Barrett, ladies and gentlemen. Easy player of the game, 35 points, 8 rebounds, 66.7% from the field, and 75% from the three-point line. Listen, you expressed some concern about Julius Randle. People were expressing concern about RJ Barrett. RJ Barrett's now playing, great basketball. He had a really good game against Chicago. Played good defense on DeMar DeRozan. You know what I mean? Now he had a great game last night. This could be the beginning of it. And every time he has one of these games, ladies and gentlemen, his confidence is growing. Right? And he's understanding how, he can use his skill set more and more and more and more. RJ Barrett on the season so far is averaging 17.2 points per game, 5.7 rebounds, and 3 assists. He is shooting 48.1% from the field, and he's shooting 38.2% from the three-point line. Good numbers for RJ Barrett. And if he continues to play like he did last night, that scoring average will go up to about 20. But look, he's scoring right now over 6 games. He's scoring the same thing he did last season, but his efficiency is better from the field. It's about the same from the three-point line. His rebounds are about the same. His assists are about the same. But if he continues to do what he did last night, and his offensive game continues to develop, he'll quickly, in my opinion, be averaging, 20 to 21 points per game. Do you see RJ Barrett? We talked a lot about Evan Fournier being the second option on his team, and Evan Fournier played well last night. He had 19 points. He's been playing well for us since he's been on this team. But this last night's play make you say, RJ is the second guy. And could, by the end of the season, be creeping up to, if he plays like that, he'll be creeping up to be the primary option.
Yeah, I was going to say, listen, if Julius is going to, stack up these games that he's around the triple-double, but he's like only scoring 15, 17, 20, no, RJ might leap him. And, then we're going to see that the Knicks have really, basically a three-headed monster. I'm not going to add Kemba there, but listen, Kemba had a 19-point game, a 21-point game. You never know, who from these guys is going to show up which game. And that's, a good thing for us and a bad thing for your opponent and their scouting department.
Right. We'll see, man. We'll see where it goes. What was your play of the game last night, Andy?
Oh, man. I was thinking probably about around the fourth quarter when RJ was scoring bucket by bucket.
Yeah.
And it's not like, a certain dynamic play or whatever, but him just getting hot, because you got to call it like that, but listen, it was so emotional for me, because I was like, we're losing the game again, and he's retaliating and retaliating, and the rest of the players are just looking at him, and he's like sinking a bucket again. That whole kind of sequence, in the fourth quarter probably was like my play of the game, because I'm not just gonna say that this or that dunk. I'm over it, and Obi didn't dunk, so.
Right. I'm with you. My play of the game last night is actually two plays or a stretch. It was that time in the fourth quarter with, maybe 2 minutes left where RJ really took over. I think, there was one time it was 111 to 109. The Knicks needed to score. You know what I mean? Because the Pelicans were really closing in, and RJ Barrett hits a three at the top of the key. It's about to come back around now, right there. He hits the three at the top of the key to give the Knicks a nice little lead. And then with 43 seconds left, he knocks down another three when it was 116 to 112 to put the Knicks up 7. And I think that right there, really did it in for the Pelicans. The game was over at that point, and it was RJ Barrett who was knocking down these shots. Those two plays right there, ladies and gentlemen, are my plays of the game. Right? RJ Barrett knocking down a three at the top of the key with about 1 minute and 40 seconds left in the game, and then knocking down another three with 45 seconds left in the game to extend the Knicks' lead. Without those shots right there, who knows what happens in this game? You know what I mean? Who knows what happens in this game? I mean, it's a wonder that the Knicks were only up 2 with 1 minute and 40 seconds left. It's 111, 109, and his three put us up 5, and I think that really kind of put the game out of reach. You know what I mean? So, yeah, those are my plays of the game for RJ Barrett, ladies and gentlemen. Those are my plays of the game. Anything else you want to say about RJ Barrett? I do want to try to get this phone line up or back up so we can get some phone calls in. But go ahead, Andy.
Yeah, Sim, it's for me, like you said, it can be the season for RJ, and it would be a shame if the team didn't realize it and didn't maybe allow him to do it, right? Because we know that when you have scorers like Kemba, Fournier, and Randall, sometimes it's not going to be like perfect amount of shots for everyone around the court.
Right.
But, as long as we're going to give him the opportunity, and if, you see that he's making these buckets that game, you just got to ride the hot hand. And, last season, we didn't have the chance of that because, we were basing our whole offense on Julius. And, and I understood sometimes that he had, those more ISO games. But, if the only other option is a guy in his sophomore year that wasn't and didn't have the, the skill set offensively to carry, the whole team, I sometimes understood that Julius didn't have the other way out. This year, I would be, really happy if the team, not only the coaching staff, but the teammates and the whole team realizes that they have so many offensive weapons that they, like Clyde says, they got to share the ball and care for their teammates. And if that's going to be, available for RJ, and he's going to be in that tight, leading, scoring, players for the Knicks, I'm going to be happy always with that.
Yeah, no doubt. Let me get to a caller here. Caller, you're live. Tell me your name and where you're from. Caller, you there? Maybe somehow, some way, these calls are not connecting. So I guess I've got to shut it down and see if we can get this thing to work right. So before I can do that, I want to take a look at our schedule coming up. Right? Because the schedule is getting tougher now. All right? Even beginning with Toronto. I think Toronto was 4-3. And let me bring this on over here so we can take a look at this schedule coming up. Toronto, we play on Monday. Tomorrow, they're 4-3. Indiana's not playing too well. But then we play Milwaukee. Obviously, I don't care what their record is right now. It's Milwaukee. Cleveland, they're shockingly playing well. They're 3-4. They lost their last 2 games, but they've been playing well. Now, tomorrow on the Queens Court, or Tuesday on the Queens Court, Steph is really going to break down our competition and look at some advanced statistics and compare us to them. Right now we're just doing a general overview. So make sure you check out the Queens Court on Tuesday night, 8:30. It won't be tomorrow night because the Knicks play tomorrow night. All right, but then we play the 76ers, then we play the Cavs, then we play the Hornets. All right, so we have a nice little stretch where the competition is pretty high. All right, and then, we play the Pacers, the Magic, and the Rockets, and then we go on another stretch where we play the Bulls, the Lakers, the Suns, the Hawks, and the Nets at the end of the month. Okay, that's a tough stretch. All right, so this is going to be a challenging month for the New York Knicks. What do you think, Andy, about this first stretch of games? The Raptors, the Pacers, the Bucks, the Cavs. Let's talk about them, and then we'll get to the 76ers, the Bucks, the Hornets, and then the Pacers again.
Yeah, one thing that we already know that the Raptors are not going to have Siakam, but listen, they have Scotty Barnes that plays only a couple of games, and probably the scouting report on that kid, because he's a major talent. It's probably not wholly already finished up, so he might surprise even the Knicks coaching staff. But listen, Toronto is also a good team. Don't we can't twist it around, and it's not like even the Pelicans. I think they're way better than the Pelicans. So it's definitely not not an easy game. The same goes with the Pacers. The Pacers are starting the season really bad, but I think with their new coach and the players basically are the same. Right. Caris LeVert is coming back from injury, I think, today. So he's probably going to be, going to have the green light to play on Wednesday. So, we're going to see how the Pacers are going to roll. And then come the Bucks, the champs, right? So, listen, it's like you said, it's going to be way harder than what we saw even this week.
Exactly. So far this season, we've played Boston, decent team, but right now I think they're 2-4. We played Philadelphia. Obviously, Philadelphia is a good team. They're 4-2 right now. Then we played Orlando twice, and we played the Pelicans twice. Okay, so 2 of the teams that we've played so far have been playoff caliber teams. 3 teams that we've played, have not been. Oh, we played Chicago. I'm sorry. So 3 teams have been playoff caliber teams. I don't want to forget about Chicago. But now we're going to a stretch where 5 of the next 7 games, 5 of the next 7 teams are going to be playoff caliber teams. I want the Knicks to step up. We're going to need Julius Randle to step up. Right? So, this is going to be a challenging month for the Knicks. Let's see if I got this phone thing better now. Caller, you're live. Tell me your name and where you're from.
Hey, Sim. My name is Ron. I'm calling from Princeton, New Jersey. How you guys doing?
I'm doing pretty.
Andy.
I'm doing pretty good. How you feeling, Ron?
What up?
I'm doing well. I'm really very happy with the Knicks right now, and I love you guys' show. I kind of watch it every day.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I get down on what's happening, but what I wanted to just say, I've watched the Knicks from the days of Willis Reed and Clyde and all of those guys.
Mm-hmm.
And they were never better than everybody else, but they were the best team. And that's what I feel about this Knicks group, that they're a real team. And Tibbs got them playing like a team, so they could probably beat anybody. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I think they really are playing like a team. And when you play like a team, it allows everybody to shine a little bit. It allows your offense and your defense to explore being creative. I mean, it just allows a lot of things to happen when you're actually playing as a team, and it creates the right atmosphere to win, creates the right atmosphere to excel. And right now we're doing that. And Tom Thibodeau has been able to preach to the players and get the buy-in from the players. I kind of hate using that word buy-in because I like players to, I like you to bring on players or people or staff or coaches, that already believe in what you believe in instead of having to get them to buy into it. But if you want to use the words buy-in, the players have bought into what Coach Tom Thibodeau is preaching, about it being a team game and that everybody's going to play a role. And it's evident in the way that they approach the game. Even with Julius Randle not playing his best, he stepped aside and let RJ take the reins last night.
Oh, that was beautiful to see RJ playing. I'm so glad that they didn't make any moves. I know Dane would have been great, but I wouldn't have wanted to give up RJ.
Right. Do you think this is going to be RJ's breakout season?
I think so, and it's like you guys were saying, if they allow it, if they give him the opportunity, I think he can do it. I mean, he could be the next Bernard King for us. Who knows?
Okay.
And he was my favorite Nick, by the way, Bernard.
Okay. Yeah, love Bernard King, man. Love Bernard King.
Right.
Too bad him and Patrick didn't really get a chance to play together.
I know. Imagine if he could have played with Patrick and those guys. Oh, let me ask you this, because it's so great to actually call in.
Mm-hmm.
You remember when the Knicks and Patrick, they were playing the Bulls, and Charles Smith got the ball, and, I thought he got fouled 3 or 4 times.
Yeah,
they never called it.
It's hard to forget that.
You think he was fouled in that whole sequence way back when?
I mean, he may have been fouled, but I'm going to tell you what, they wasn't calling it against. I don't know who was down there, probably Horace Grant, maybe Michael Jordan was down there. They weren't calling any fouls at that point against the Bulls. You know that.
Yeah.
You know that. They wasn't calling.
Everybody said he should have dunked it.
Exactly.
6'10".
Yeah, 6'10", right. Should have just went up with some aggression and put it down. Oh, boy. Those days.
Well, thank you, Sim, and Andy and everybody. I love the show, and I can't believe I got through to speak to you. So I'm really happy.
Thank you, Ron.
Keep up what you're doing, because you're rallying all the Knick fans.
Yeah, thank you, Ron. I appreciate it. I appreciate you for watching. Appreciate you for calling in.
Oh yeah, and I'll be watching all the time.
All right. All right. Thank you.
So all the best, and God bless, man.
All right. Same to you.
Peace.
Thank you.
Yeah. Hey, but you know what though, Andy? We look back on those days and it's like, oh my gosh, Charles Smith, he didn't make the layups, but we want the Knicks to be in those kind of battles. I would rather have the Knicks miss a bunch of layups at the rim than not be in the playoffs at all. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
Hopefully we're back to those days where we're in the playoffs every single season. You know what I mean? Caller, you're live. Tell me your name and where you're from, please.
Hey, you hear me, Sims?
Yes, sir.
All right. That was me last time. I don't know. We couldn't connect. Hey, it's me, Ballads again. Josh A. Smith Slayer, okay? I'm in today. I did Josh that work, and he kept on with his narrative. Somewhere in his head that makes sense that trading for a guy in his 30s declining was a smart trade last year, just to be in the playoffs and maybe not even be in the playoffs for 2 years and then rebuilding again. I leave that for another. I called because I just wanted to say Nate, no take today, was talking a lot of smack. You know what I mean? I don't know what he thinks. He says he wants to debate me. I just want to let him know live, direct again, just remind him because he's ducking the smoke. Apparently he was going to be here today with you guys. I don't see him anywhere. And I'm ready for him anytime. But to get back to the subject, Andy, bless you, man. I love when you're on the panel. I think your basketball smart, you and Sims and Stephanie, you guys are up there, man. You guys are goats in this, man. But I just want to say, RJ, I hope he can take the next level, but I'm also not expecting it. I think last night was a sign of his potential and what he's capable of. And if he does it, great. If he doesn't, I'm fine with it. He still has a lot of years left for him to reach that potential. But if he does do it this year, This makes this team, Eastern Conference Finals contenders, not championship contenders. But if you got a guy like RJ and Julius, you have way more options for the offense to move around the ball. Because now, what I wanted to touch upon, what was going on with Julius, is just a continuation of the playoffs. People are now ready for Julius this year, so they're double teaming him every game, which is why Julius is now, going to his teammates. But if we get that with RJ, where teams are now planning defense against RJ, then this offense opens up so much more. And I think that would take this team to another level. But, bless y'all again. And you let Nate know that I'm waiting for him. And tell Whopper Jr. Verizon to show up his face, man. God bless. Take care, y'all.
Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you.
Bro.
And if you guys didn't get a chance to see the controversy, it was a great show this morning, ladies and gentlemen. You got to go check it out. It was a really, really good show. Make sure you go check out that controversy show this morning. A lot of talk about RJ, just like we're talking about RJ now, but a lot of talk about RJ this morning. Call you live. Tell me your name and where you're from.
What's up, Sam? It's Spree.
Spree, what's going on with you, man?
Nothing much, man. I'm just, like you, I watched the game again, and my team's on a bye in football, and I'm happy you're having a show. I mean, I was happy for RJ, to be honest with you, because like when you were watching that, and Andy, you're my guy, so I hope you're doing well. When you were watching that last night, Sam, weren't you just like a proud father?
Without
of
a
your
doubt.
child?
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. Felt good.
Yeah.
Really good.
Yeah. I mean, it's nice to know we have options on this team. My biggest thing, Sam, I mean, the reason why I love RJ is because every time I call you, I challenge him. I mean, last year was the shooting, right? I mean, that was a big thing. You got to work on your shooting. Got to work on your finishing. Transition, getting to the lane, because he can get to the lane whenever he wants. If Mitch sets a good screen, Sim, and I love that play when they give him two screens at the top of the key, I mean, the guy's left-handed. Mm-hmm. And regardless, you know this, in this league, people say, yeah, you got to force him right. But a lot of people just let him go left.
Right.
They keep letting him go left.
Right.
I mean, so you could tell in the scouting report, make RJ go right. They let him go left. The key is, and I think you hit it on the head, craftsmanship. He's not doing it. He has power. He has the power. It's more so just thinking once you're in the lane, using the angles, because Valanciunas is a big dude. And my play of the game, yes, it was when he took over. I thought the pass he made to Taj was beautiful.
I remember
the one
that.
where he came around, because, like, you think about it, Sim. Your first 30-plus, 35, he's going off. And he had 6 assists, to be fair to the kid. But it would have been easy for him to have put up another one. And he had the presence of mind to know, I'm not going to be able to finish this ball over Valanciunas. Let me hit my boy Taj.
Right. And that was some of the things that you really liked from him last night. Mm-hmm. It'd be a fast break. He wasn't crying and, hey, give me the ball, give me the ball, give me the ball. He'd fall back and say, okay, you got the lane. I'm going to go ahead and get over here in the corner. And if I'm open, hit me. If not, take it. I've seen a fast break with Obi. Obi got a fast break. And RJ flared out to the corner. Obi hit him. He knocks it down. So he's still able, like, seamlessly go back and forth between saying, okay, it's my time to score. It's my time to facilitate. It's my time, to let somebody either create for me or create for themselves. You know what I mean? And this is when you have a player that is allowed to grow underneath someone else, it makes it easier for them to transition in and out of roles. Which is one of the things that I think maybe helps Julius Randle. Somebody asked me last night or whenever, do I think that Julius Randle, is the type of player that's willing to take a step aside? And I said, yeah, I think he is, because, throughout his career, he's only been the number one guy on a team now. Right? He came up under Kobe, then he was with Anthony Davis. So I think he does understand how to step aside, and RJ's going to understand that same thing. And if these guys stay together and they continue to get better together, it may just work well for the both of them. that they understand, okay, RJ's got it going tonight. I'm going to step aside. Julius has got it going tonight. I'm going to step aside, and I'm just going to play my role. Or Evan or Kemba or whoever.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, I mean, like, my whole thing with Julius is he's not a selfish guy. I mean, at least all of the talk. Talk is cheap. It's ultimately what you do, your actions. All the actions as far as taking less money, being the leader of the team, clearly putting in work, getting in shape. I don't think Randall's going to have a problem with that at all. It's just doing it on the floor, making good decisions, just your actions. And so it's on the coach. I'm proud of Tibbs keeping the ball in RJ's hands. I mean, finishing games, look, it's who has it that night. It's who's open. RJ had it going. We kept the ball in his hands. It could be Kemba, like you said, Sim. It could be Evan. It could be Julius. But one thing I'll say about RJ that I like, would you agree with this statement? RJ and Derek are probably the two guys on our team that can get downhill the best.
The best without making mistakes?
Yeah.
Yes, I would agree. I think so.
Okay.
Because Julius can get downhill, but you never know. He might pick up an offensive foul, you know.
Yeah, I mean, just like to get to the free throw line late in games, I'm just thinking, Sim, like, I mean, I think Julius is going to have to close games. I'm not sitting here today saying RJ is the closer of this team. But what I do like about having the ball in RJ's hands a little bit too is just if we need to get to the free throw line, he can get downhill with his left. And what are you seeing from Kemba? I mean, that was a big three, Sim. The one he hit the step back, I was like, okay, we finally have a good point guard. But what are you seeing? Because I know you thought the shooting was not sustainable, which I don't know if it is or not. But are you encouraged?
Well, I seen him go get to the cup last night. I think he was on the left side, dribbled all the way to the basket, laid it up with his left hand. That's encouraging. You know what I mean? Because I want to see him be able to, I think for Kemba, and for this team, it's imperative that he's able to get to the basket because that's going to collapse the defense without it always being Julius collapsing the defense, collapse the defense so we can spread it out and get the floor open. You know, I think it's going to have to come off of screens for Kemba to do it consistently. You know, will he continue to shoot 58% from the three-point line? No, I don't think so. You know what I mean? But I'm encouraged over the past few games that he's getting more comfortable, and I can see him getting more comfortable in the offense. And I can see people getting more comfortable with his style of play, which is going to open it up for everybody.
Do you know the step back three I'm talking about?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. That one was the biggest shot I thought he hit of the night. I mean, like that one was the one where Elfrid Payton can't do that for you.
Right. Exactly.
That's not a shot Elfrid Payton can do for you.
Exactly.
So yeah, I'm with you, Sim. We're gonna have to monitor the Kemba thing all year, but it's. I agree with you. He did get to the cup, and the last point. I know you mentioned this on your show the other day. You asked the question, why does Tibbs put Miles McBride in with 3 seconds? And that I don't know really. I mean, is it the foul management? Maybe. Is it? I have the theory, and maybe I'm wrong because I could be wrong, but you know, he put Frank in to shut down Trey cold.
Right.
And he did that with Frank at times last year, just giving him a little bit of time here and there. I think Tibbs respects the young players. I think they're developing in practice, but I think every little moment like that, a situation, keeps them on their toes to say, stay ready, stay ready. And I think Frank couldn't get that stop, and we had a debate. Tibbs didn't put him in the right situation. I hear that argument, Sim, and I don't disagree with that. Like, if I was cold as a player, I would hate it. But for Frank, he needed to get that championship stop. In my opinion, that's a championship moment right there. I think McBride will get that stop, and it's preparing him. Do you think that has anything to do with that, or am I reading too much into it?
No, you could be exactly right. You know, just keeping the guy ready on his toes and letting him know, like, hey, I can call on you at any time. You know, so be ready. Definitely. You know, I just wish, you know, if you put him in for 3 seconds at the end of the quarter, let him play the next minute into the fourth quarter. I think it was going into the fourth quarter. Let him play the next minute.
Yeah.
What is it really? I mean, I guess a minute can change the game, but he can play defense. You know what I mean? Let him play for a minute and then sit him down. You know, I mean, to me, 3 seconds, he barely has, you know, he walks on the court and then comes off. You know what I mean?
I hear you. I think I agree with that. I do agree with that sentiment. If you're going to do that, give him another minute at the to start the fourth. It was the end of the third to start the fourth. Hey, look, I mean the IQ thing. People, our fan base. We get a lot of us get impatient. I'm giving IQ 20 games. In my opinion, he's a confident kid. He's figuring it out. After 20 games, I'll reassess if Grimes or McBride need to get in there in the rotation. I'm not really ready to shove IQ to the side. I have a long-term memory with that kid. He helped us tremendously, Sim. That's just me. But there are a lot of Knicks fans that are not happy with IQ. I'm going to give the kid time because he's from my hometown of Maryland, so I have to give him love. And he gave me an autograph, so I love that kid. But, Sim, I think IQ is going to be fine, but we just got to be patient.
Nah, listen, I agree. I'm not really worried about IQ. I think he is going to be fine. You know what I mean? He's just got to, make some adjustments as far as the way that the Knicks are playing this year. His leash is not as long as it was last year, and he's not getting a chance to play with the starters like he did last year. He's strictly playing with the bench, and if he's not playing well, Tom Thibodeau's taking him out. That's okay. I mean, if the Knicks had this team last year, it would have been the same way last year for him. I think he's going to be okay. I'm not worried about him. Although I will say, if he doesn't continue to play well, then sooner or later, Tom Thibodeau is going to probably look to McBride or Grimes.
And that's fine. That's okay. I don't agree with this after 6 games. We're ready to throw IQ down and start booing him or anything like that. We just got to be fair about it. I mean, look, he's a young player. He's going to go through. He's not going to make every shot. I mean, is he struggling? It's bad right now. I'm not disputing. Alec, my boy Alec Burks, it's bad right now. I called him MJ last year because he was playing like MJ last year. But, Sim, am I ready to throw Burks to the side? Not yet. I mean, but it's a long season. But anyways, I'm proud of this show. You're a tremendous job. I think you're the best, honestly.
Appreciate
I think
that.
you really know the game. I think all the panel members on here know the game. It's really good to hear the show. Like, if you actually go back, it's just a good show. And you also took a picture with my boy Spree. I saw that. That's what I'm talking about right there. So I like that. But anyways, man, I'll talk to you later this week. You're the man.
Appreciate you. Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Peace, Ron.
Yeah. I don't know if he was playing like MJ. Maybe he was playing like MG, Michael Kidd Gilchrist. I don't know. I don't know about MJ.
He had those sports that that made us happy.
Yeah, he had some spurts. He did it. He did work. Everyone's gonna get a chance to have one of those games. Everyone who's in the rotation is gonna get a chance to have one of those games. So I'm not too concerned about Emmanuel Quickly not having, great games right to start off the season. I think we'll be okay. And I think he'll be okay. But, ladies and gentlemen, RJ Barrett, will he break out this season? This is a good start. If he's going to break out, this is a good start. Again, he's so far having a really good season over these 6 games as far as shooting the basketball. He's 48.1% from the field. He's 38.2% from the three-point line. He's averaging 17 points per game, 5.7 rebounds a game, and 3 assists per game. He's playing good basketball, really good basketball. And we will see where he goes from here. Andy, anything else you want to add about RJ, about Randall, about anybody or anything we talked about today?
Sim, I think we wrapped it up, perfectly through the whole show. It was only us two, so we didn't go that much sideways. So yeah, but
right.
Yeah, but I really think that this season is a really high potential for RJ to have this breakout year. I think, all the situation around the team and, not only the team, the personnel on the team, the coaching staff and stuff, and the players, it's not going to be a better situation for RJ to break out. Yeah. Unless we're going to, stick with only Randall, trade all of these guys and take 2-3 steps back to go back to rebuild mode and then just let RJ chuck 30-40 shots a game. So
right. Yeah, okay. Ladies and gentlemen, today's show, The Shoot Around, is brought to you by SeatGeek. And if you use the code NBK on your first purchase of $50 or more, you'll get $20 off. Okay, so make sure you use that code NBK. And if you already have an account with SeatGeek, you know what? You can probably go use another email, start a new account, and you still get $20 off. Shh. Don't tell nobody I told you that, especially SeatGeek. But, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you check out SeatGeek. And, of course, we have segments and shows that are not sponsored yet. So if you are interested in sponsoring, shoot me an email, srussell@nothingbutnicks.com. I'm putting it in the chat right now, ladies and gentlemen. Besides that, I'm out of here. Make sure you check us out for the game preview tomorrow, presented by The Game Day. The post-game show tomorrow night, and that's presented by nobody. So you have a chance to present that show if you want to. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen.
Yet, Sim.
Yet.
Nobody yet.
Right. Nobody yet. It's coming. Not yet, but it's coming. You know, but anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we're out of here. Appreciate your time. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday, the rest of your day off. Get some rest, watch some football, eat some good food. Get ready for work tomorrow. We're out of here, ladies and gentlemen. Spread love.
This is NBK, nothing but Knicks. When Sim passed the assist, you know that it's #1 show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Post-game reviews, this the place you tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench. This is NBK, nothing but Knicks.